Hey YouTubers, it's Jordan from The Winding Path, and today we're going to be talking about dabbling in magic versus focused magical attempts. Stay tuned. Welcome back YouTubers. So basically today I wanted to talk about a couple different things. Well, one main thing, just two sides of it. The reason that I'm bringing this up, or the reason that I'm kind of bringing this topic forward, is because one, Practical Magic. It's one of my favorite movies, and my mind, as soon as I kind of thought of this, I was like, oh, Practical Magic also brings that thing up. And then two, because of the situation in my last video, where I talked about, what kind of happened or why I've kind of been away for how long I have been. I'm kind of bringing that topic over here because I just want to make sure that I clear up something. So there's dabbling in magic, and there's knowing when to use or focused attempts of magic. So the main thing that people kind of get irritated about, from what I've understood or from what I've heard or seen, is that there's people that dabble in magic, which they do little bits here and there. They have a very basic understanding, but they don't understand all of it. They don't understand, all the nuances and everything. And so they do something and it either doesn't work or it fails or it goes badly or whatever. And so they stop and they're like, nope, it's bad, it's horrible. Or they say, no, it didn't really work. Maybe I'll try it again at some point down the line, and they do. But they're just dabbling. They're not researching, they're not understanding, they're not studying, they're not figuring out what will work best for them. They're just trying something and it's not working, so they're kind of giving up or moving on, and then maybe try to come back to it at some point later on. And dabbling it can be dangerous. It can be one of those things that has unintended consequences, especially if you don't know the rules. You don't know how things work. You don't know how to word or position things, so that way you're not just throwing something out into the universe and it'll get done in whatever means possible, and then there's focused attempts, or there's knowing when to use magic, or knowing when to reach out and use what you have learned, because witchcraft is a craft. It's a practice. It's something you have to study and learn and use it when you think it's best to use, to protect yourself, to protect your friends, your family, to protect your home and your property, whether it's a car or a physical property like a home or land, and when not to use it. When is it just petty to use magic? Using magic to find a parking spot is almost a waste. It's one of those things that it's almost on the line of dabbling, almost, just because using magic to get the fastest path to work, or to find an empty parking spot that's closer to the door, or making somebody call you back, or whatever the case is, that you haven't heard from in a long time. Some of those can be valid, but for the most part, it's almost like dabbling, because there's no substance there. There's nothing that's you're working towards to get done. And I'm not talking ceremonial magic, or that high magic, those things that people do that are involve casting a circle and being dressed in certain clothes, and doing calling all the quarters and anything, all that other good stuff. It's not ceremonial or high magic. I definitely am not one of those people. I don't do that. I don't necessarily see the point in it. But at the same time, I don't dabble either. I'm not doing small little things in the real world. When I do magic, it's something that's because it needs to be done, because it needs an extra push, or it needs basically needs to open up a pathway, as it were. And I'm seeing that there's people saying, find something magical to do every day. Find something that you can do that's magic, a little bit every day, just so that way you can keep that witchy in your life, But at the same time, keeping witchy things in your life, or being witchy in your life, isn't things that you do or things that you wear. It's just who you are. It's how you are. It's part of, sure, it's maybe a pentacle, or maybe a Thor's hammer, or some other sort of symbol that most people equate to paganism or witchcraft. But for the most part, it's a part of you. If you are a practicing witch, or you're Wiccan, or whatever it is that you do, you don't need to wear any of those things. Anybody that's also a pagan or a witch, for the most part, they'll be able to identify you without having to wear all those things. I mean, granted, I like to wear stuff. I mean, hell, I have rune tattoos and stuff on my arm. I mean, somebody can definitely identify what I am by that alone, and I usually wear a Thor's hammer. But I usually don't wear a pentacle or a pentagram, just because I don't. It's not something that I feel like wearing. But at the same time, if you are one of those people that like to wear that sort of thing, you don't have to go up and over, the beyond with, what you're wearing in order to be witchy. If all you're doing is wearing all that stuff to make you feel like a witch, it's not needed. You are who you are, regardless of what you wear. It's just, that's the way things are. And I want everybody to be their true selves, their real selves. Somebody that if I were to meet them on the street, and if I pick up on, that they are a practicing witch, or, pagan, or whatever, because of a piece of jewelry or a tattoo, or just the way that they are and the way that they feel, fantastic. But it's almost a little bit of a off-put when somebody is like super dressed to the gills, wearing like 20,000 rings, and wearing pentacle earrings and a pentacle necklace, and they have tattoos all over their hands that are all different symbols and everything. Like I'm down with the tattoos. Whatever. I plan on getting more at some point here soon, when I get out of the job that I'm currently in, where I have to look professional. But you don't need all the excess clothes and everything. You just need to be yourself. And it's up to you. Are you a dabbler? Or do you use magic when it really needs to be used, and not using it on small little silly stuff like parking spots and making a light turn green for you, or whatever the other case is. It's up to you to decide on what you want to do and how you want to practice your craft. It is always up to you. I'm not telling you how to practice, but at the same time, maybe reassess and take a look and see where you're actually at. See what you use your magic on, what you use your craft on. What are you doing in order to make this life your own? Are you making it meaningful, or are you doing silly little things that most kids do when they find out they can, change the course of things because of magic? It's up to you to decide. Blessed be. See you later.